So the next thing we're going to do is build the shed, which is going to go here. So we're going to start from this point and we're going to go all the way down to here. There's going to be additional storage down here as well for the bins. So what we're going to do first is get our guttering in. So the section of gutter is going to run all the way down the length of the shed to this point here, and then the outlet will then discharge into the eco drains down there. So the next thing I've got to do is take out these bricks because our guttering wants to run right the way through so it doesn't impede with any of our rafters. I'm just going to build that out of timber and then we're going to dress that with lead. That's the next process. I'll show you us doing it. So we've got our bricks out, I've cut my chase along here, ready for the lead. So now what I need to do is get our first wall plate cut. We're going to cut that at a 45-degree angle so our lead can sit nicely up there. It's not going to affect this capillary drip here, and then the water will be able to run off freely as it does. So the lead will just sit nicely into there, and then it can be clipped in and pointed in as well, and then that will form then the drip for the gutter. So we'll go outside and start cutting up some timber. So I've got my piece of timber cut, and what I've done is measured across the wall in various points to get my level, and there's actually 55mm of difference across there. Because this is an old wall, obviously it's not been put in level. We're just gonna have to get around that. That's something we can do. Because I'm on my own and it's a long piece of timber, I'm just gonna pilot 2 holes in here, offer it up, get my SDS in there, get my marks in the wall, and then I can get my concrete screws in there and fix it all up. So with these concrete screws in particular, you're supposed to use a 7mm SDS bit, drill that into the wall, and then these literally just screw straight in. There's no need for plugs or anything like that. These are a brilliant bit of kit, good invention, I love these. One bad thing about this drill, I've got no hook on it for my trousers. Just lean that up there. This is obviously always better with 2 people, but such is life. All I need to do is just make a little bit of a mark so I know where I'm going. That's it. Grab my concrete screw and go for it. Get that on my level line. There we go, just like that. That's fixed up now, so now all I need to do is get some more holes drilled and get some more concrete screws in, and we're away. So you've just seen me put the wall plates on. I've still got a couple of bits on the end to do, but I just needed to make sure I got the bulk of them in, and then I just thought I'd show you this neat little trick. So obviously this one's a bit of a struggle on your own because you've got to get it level exactly straight away. Trying to hold it in multiple places and drill it at the same time is never easy. Once that one's in, you know this point here is level. All you need to do is fix a bit of timber underneath with a screw like I have done here, and then when you go to fix your next one on, literally rest that on there so you know that's going to finish at the same height as that, and then all you've got to worry about is this end here. So I've already got my mark, so I know I'll hold that onto the mark, screw it in, and then that's it. This is dead level then. Get my level in, just to have another check. Awesome, perfect, just where I need it to be. So now all I need to do is get the 2 ends sorted, get those pieces on, and then we can put the underside of this in next, and then the supporting posts which are going along here as well. Beautiful. bit windy, but we're working through it. We're still here, we haven't been blown away yet. My hair might have been, but so, as you've just seen, we've got all the uprights in. This one's just in temporary for now, because we've got this tile out because of the manhole down there, the stopcock, sorry. So that's just there, literally temporary for now. But these are all in situ as they need to be. We've got our wall plate on here and also the bottom side of what will be the gutter. So now it's time to put on this wall plate, which is going to sit here and then carry the rafters, which will run at the top there. So our guttering is up and in place. What we've got to do with this wall plate is just cut an angle on it here, just to carry our rafters through. We're also going to put an angle on this wall plate, so then everything will run through nicely, because when we put our polycarbonate roof on, we want the whole thing just to line through. If we were to leave it like this and notch over, it might cause us some issues down this end. I'm just going to literally run my circular saw all the way down here, and that will give us our perfect angle then, and the same with the wall plate as well. So we've got our wall plates on, we've got our angle cut on here and on the wall plate up here as well. So that's a 27-degree angle, which will give us a 27-degree pitch. So obviously this one here you can see is slightly lower. That is because by the time this rafter comes through, it's going to obviously be longer. So the point in which it contacts the wall is going to be higher up. This one's just in for just testing purposes. And then yeah, our wall plate runs all the way down here as well. So next step is to get all these rafters cut and in position. So now we have this superstructure complete. We've had to do some slight modification to the roof up here just to give us a bit of extra headroom in this area. The sink has been installed as well, so this is just going to make for a much nicer area out here for the clients to do various activities, various things. The stud works up either end. Next, what we're going to be doing is starting the cedar cladding. As I mentioned before, it's tongue and groove with the chamfered edge. So we're going to put this nicely up here. We're going to have a door made from an exterior company as well, DK Joinery. They're a really good local company, and we like supporting local businesses wherever we can. The polycarbonate's actually not coming until next week for the roof, but that's fine. That gives us ample time to get everything else ready in place. So when it lands, we can get it straight on there. Just seen me doing here is I've set up a little jig. This is going to be above the frame of the door. And basically what I've done is set this up so that when I run my router along here, I get an even chamfer all the way across. What could have happened if I did each piece individually, they could have stepped slightly, so that this way I know when they're all butted up and they're all sat against the frame, they're all going to run through real nice like this. Got all them edges oiled up as well, just to make sure that no penetration's going to get through there of water. Cool, I'll crack on. So as you've just seen, I've been making a good start on the cedar cladding for the shed. Here we go, and I'll just talk you through it. So start from the ground up. What we've done here, as you can see, there's a bit of a gap. So I've used this bit of ply here just to raise us off the floor. Reason being, we're going to put a weather bar across the bottom of here, just to cascade any water that comes down this face off straight down to the ACO. We've also used some tanking strip here. This is actually a corner strip from an impy water guard system, which is going to obviously stop any water which does penetrate through this way actually soaking up through the timber, because if we didn't put that there, what could happen is water may track back underneath and then eventually rot these timbers away internally. They are treated timbers, but if there's water sitting there, after a while it may absorb up through and then cause discoloration or, you know, many number of problems. So this is one way of remedying it. The weatherproof strip there plus the weather bar is going to be pretty much belt and braces really. It's going to stop any water penetrating through and causing any issues down the road. You can see as well, I've got the cedar cladding on. There will be a piece which laps over when we put our polycarbonate on the top, which will finish this top off nicely. I've put my frame in, but that's going to have to come out. I've just literally got it in just to get everything prepared, ready, because I'm going to run this strip down. I'm going to also put a chamfer like this down this edge here as well, because I'm going to also put a strip around here and around here, which will match that in, just finish that edge off nicely. So there's going to be a nice chamfered edge all the way around this, all the way around the lining, just to give it a nice crisp finish really, rather than just butting a board up to it, because we're all about the finish and the details. So that makes a very nice detail there. Will came yesterday, made a start on this, so this will actually be cut down quite a lot and we'll go into a nice corner hopper here, which will go down and expand into the ACO. And this is obviously the outlet for the drain, which runs all the way down the length of the shed, all the way down there. So for the lining of our stud work, what we're doing is using some of this tongue and groove board that we're actually using for the cladding, and then I'm going to rip it down to get this. So this is the perfect width that we need to allow for the timber stud work and cladding on either side. Because we haven't got any architrave, we need a nice finish. So we're trimming these edges off. So we'll get rid of the tongue and the groove and these chamfers, and then rip it down so we've got a nice flat piece of cedar like that, which is ready to be sanded down and then oiled, just to give us our perfect lining. So I'm going to use this table saw now, cut off one of the sides. So I'll cut off the groove first, and then I'll use this then, because this is, like I mentioned, is the perfect width. I'll use this then to set my saw, so I know then that my lining is going to be exactly the same all the way around. I'm just going to set this up just to take off the tongue, like I said. No, the groove even. There we go. Line it up without marks on the table, and then we're off. So now the groove is gone, like that. So now use my other piece, my old piece that I've got. This is basically my template. Push that up against the blade, get my guide rail where I want it to be, block that off. And now I know when I rip off this tongue on this side, it's going to be the right width. Gonna wait for that to stop. So our template piece fits perfectly over the top of it, like that. So now all I've got to do is get this sanded and oiled and then cut, and in she goes. So the next process now, we've ripped our piece of door frame down. Here it is. I've sanded it all down nicely, so it's nice and smooth and ready to take a coat of oil. So I've pre-stirred this. This is a clear Osmo oil. It's UV protection as well, so it's ideal for stuff outside. Perfect for this application. So all you need to do is get yourself a little tray. I'm applying it with a roller, but you can apply it with a brush as well, but I just find a roller to be easier. It gives you a more even coat across it, and it saves with wastage as well then, because once you've applied this oil, you then need to rub some off as well, rub the excess off. So if you use a roller, you can control a lot more, you know, how much you actually put onto it. Get yourself some oil in there. Then I'm just going to prime the roller up, and away I go. Just a nice even coat. You want this obviously just to soak nicely into the surface of the cedar. Cedar is a great wood to have outside because there's such a high resin content in it. It does really well outside. It sort of protects itself really, so there isn't as much of a need to sort of protect it with an oil. It could literally just be sanded down and left outside, but just to make sure it's got some decent lifespan on it and it doesn't silver off too much too quickly, we're applying this Osmo oil. It's a really good product and it will ensure that this cedar has a long and happy life. So there you go, I've just applied a nice coat over that, a nice even coat. I'm just going to upend it and do this one edge here. Nice and carefully, try not to get any big globs of it down the side. There we go. Lay that down and move it to the edge. And you can do the other edge then. Actually
just moving the roller down as I go, just to make sure I'm using the whole roller, getting all the oil out of it like I want to. Right, just like that. And then you need a clean, lint-free cloth. I've gone for the pink option, because why not? And then all we're doing is literally running down it like this, just to take the excess oil off in little stages as I go. And then I'll go across the whole length in one then, just so we don't get any streaks or any marks in it. So because I've used a roller, I can control really well the amount that actually goes on there. So there's not actually that much excess come off it. It's pretty good. Now turn it over to a dry side. I'm gonna wipe all the way down in one go. There we go, just like that. And now looking down it, starting to take in already, and there's no unsightly streaks anywhere or anything like that. Just run down the side as well. Down this side. That's it, just like that. Now I need to leave that to dry for probably an hour or so. Quite warm and breezy today, so it'll help it dry pretty quick. I'll just keep that out of the way so no dust gets on it, and then I'll crack on with the rest. So all my bits of cladding and my door frame are all oiled up, and just in case you're wondering where I was lifting them up and putting them to, there you go, my nice little airing rack. This gazebo's got loads of uses, so at least they're out the way up there and no dust is going to get on them, any bits or anything like that, and they'll dry nicely, and then I can get them stuck in, get them fabricated into the size bits that I want, and then that's it, we can carry on. So guys, that's it. The superstructure is up. On the next edition of this shed build, we're going to show you how we installed the roof. So as usual, if you've liked this video, please like, comment and subscribe. You've been watching me, John, on Build with A&E. Until next time, take care.